Hello and welcome everyone. So in this video I would like to discuss about study note number 13 Companies Act 2013. Okay. So in this study note includes various types of companies, formation of companies, related procedures and about directors. Okay. So now we have to study about promotion कैसे होता है, कितने टाइप्स ऑफ कंपनीज है, फॉर्मेशन प्रोसीजर क्या है and what are the related procedures. Okay, so without any further delay let's get started. Introduction. In tune with multifaceted global development in international trade, multifaceted means having many sides or many aspects or features, having many features, global development in international trade and commerce. The Companies Act 2013 was enacted in India, which forms the primary source of Indian company law. Okay, the Companies Act 2013 has been enacted to consolidate and amend the law relating to the companies. The changes in the existing company law, that is the Companies Act 1956, were indispensable due to change in the national and international economic environment and for expansion and growth of economy of our country. So जब इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट हुआ, एक्सपैंड हुआ, ग्रोथ हुआ इकोनॉमी का, फॉर दैट पर्पज चेंज कंपनी फोर्स टू modify its Companies Act from 1956 to 2013. Okay, so the central government decided to replace the Companies Act 1956 with a new legislation to meet the changed national and international economic environment and to further accelerate the expansion and growth of our economy. The new law, that is the Companies Act 2013, is rule based legislation with 470 sections and 7 schedules. The entire act has been divided into 29 chapters. Remember, 470 sections, 7 schedules, and the entire act has been divided into 29 chapters. The Companies Act 2013 aims to improve corporate governance, simplify regulations, strengthens the interest of minority investors, and for the first time legislates the role of whistleblowers. The role of whistleblowers means what? Whistleblowers means a person who informs on a person or organization regarding as engaging in an unlawful or immoral activities. Okay, here we have write all such important words related to law and ethics, and for Companies Act 2013, Companies Act 2013, whistleblowers means a person who informs on a person or organization regarded as engaging in an unlawful or immoral activities. Okay, so thus the enactment is making our corporate regulations more contemporary. Okay, contemporary means living or occurring at the same time. Living or occurring at the same time. Clear? Next, meaning and definition of a company. The word company is derived from the Latin word com, with or together. Panis means bread, and it originally referred to an association of persons, referred to as association of persons who took their meals together. In popular parlance, parlance means a particular way of speaking or using words. In popular parlance, a company denotes an association of like-minded person. Association of like-minded person formed for the purpose of carrying on some business or undertaking. A company is a corporate body and a legal person having status and personality which is distinct and separate from the members constituting it. As per the meaning and definition of company, a company is a corporate body and a legal person, corporate body and a legal person having status and personality distinct and separate from the members constituting it. ये पहला एंड मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट डेफिनेशन है कंपनी का. कंपनी इज ए कॉर्पोरेट बॉडी एंड ए लीगल पर्सन हैविंग स्टेटस एंड पर्सनालिटी distinct and separate from the members constituting it. In terms of the Companies Act 2013, a company means a company incorporated under this act or under any previous company law, section 2, subsection 20. Lord Justice Lindley has defined a company as an association of many persons who contribute money or money's worth to a common stock and employ it in some trade or business and who share the profit and loss arising therefrom. The common stock so contributed is denoted in money and is the capital of the company. The person who contributed in it or form it to form it belongs and members. The proportion of capital to which each member is entitled is his share. The shares are always transferable, although the right to transfer them may be restricted. ये important है. The shares are always transferable, although the right to transfer them may be restricted. Okay. Now, what are the salient features of a company? As you know that the first and most important features of a company is separate legal entity. Separate legal entity in the sense company is a separate legal person and artificial person. ये हम लोग +2 से भी पढ़ कर आ रहे हैं कि company is a separate legal person and artificial person. Okay, so it is distinguished from the shareholder of the company. It has its own independent corporate existence. It has its own corporate existence. So first and most important features of a company is separate legal entity. कंपनी एक सेपरेट लीगल पर्सन होता है एंड ऑल्सो आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन. ओके, इट इज डिस्टिंग्विश्ड फ्रॉम द शेयर होल्डर ऑफ द कंपनी. इट हैज इट्स ओन इंडिपेंडेंट कॉर्पोरेट एग्जिस्टेंस. नेक्स्ट, लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी. द लाइबिलिटी ऑफ द मेंबर्स ऑफ ए लिमिटेड कंपनी having share capital is limited to the extent of nominal value of the shares held by them. Okay, the shareholders cannot be called upon to pay more than the unpaid value of his shares, whatever may be the indebtedness of the company. जितना भी indebted होना क्यों, the shareholder cannot be called upon to pay more than the unpaid value of his shares. Clear? So second most important features of a company is limited liability. Now next, perpetual succession. Perpetual succession means the company has its existence from the time of incorporation to winding up. Members may come and members may go, but the company survive up to the winding up. मेंबर जो है वो आएंगे और जाएंगे, लेकिन as perpetual succession company may still exist until it is winding up. Okay, so company has its existence from the time of incorporation to winding up. कंपनी का एग्जिस्टेंस होगा तब तक, पहले तो जब इनकॉर्पोरेशन हुआ टू विंडिंग अप, Okay, members may come and members may go, but the company survive up to the winning of. Then property, separate property in the sense the company is having right to acquire and ट्रांसफर प्रॉपर्टी इन इट्स ओन नेम. कंपनी का राइट है टू acquire and transfer property in its own name. So this is known as separate property. Then common seal. Common seal means the company seal is used by the company for affixing it in the documents such as contract etc. Since it is an artificial person and cannot sign on its own in the documents, now the use of common seal has been made optional because the Companies Act 2013 required common seal to be to be affixed on certain documents such as bill of exchange, share certificate etc. All such documents which require affixing the common seal may now instead be signed by two directors or one director and a company secretary of the company wherever applicable. So पहले था क्या कॉमन सेल इम्पोर्टेंट, नाउ इट बिकम ऑप्शनल इन दैट रिप्लेस ऑफ दिस नाउ ऑल सच डॉक्यूमेंट नीड टू बी affixing the common seal may now sorry in replace of common seal now signed by two directors or one director and a and a company secretary of the company. Okay, so this is most important. Then transferability of shares. Transferability shares means the shares of members except in the private company may be freely transferable. Okay, next, capacity to sue and be sued. Being a separate legal entity, the company is having capacity to sue others and it can be sue by others. स्यू अदर को स्यू कर सकते हैं या फिर इट कैन बी स्यूड बाय अदर्स. ओके, सो दीज आर द फीचर्स ऑफ कंपनी. साइलेंट फीचर्स ऑफ कंपनी: सेपरेट लीगल एंटिटी, लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी, परपेचुअल सक्सेशन, सेपरेट प्रॉपर्टी, कॉमन सेल, transferability of shares, and capacity to sue and be sued. Then another important topic, lifting of the corporate veil. Very important for your examination point of view. What do you mean by lifting of the corporate veil? The separate personality of a company is a statutory privilege and it must be used for legitimate business purpose. Legitimate means conforming to the law or to the rules. Conforming to the law or rules. Conforming to the law or rules. Legitimate. Okay, the separate personality of a company is a statutory privilege and it must be used for legitimate business purpose only. Where a fraudulent and dishonest use is made of the legal entity, the individual concerned will not be allowed to take shelter behind the corporate personality. Okay, the court will break through the corporate shell and apply the principal doctrine of what is called lifting of piercing the corporate veil. Piercing means having or showing shrewdness or keen intelligence. Okay, so the court will look behind the corporate entity and take action as though no entity separate from the members existed and make the members or the controlling persons liable for debt and obligation of the company. Remember, lifting of the corporate veil is very important because lifting of the corporate veil means आज company is a separate legal entity. So in that case it must be used for legitimate business purpose only, क्योंकि इसमें फ्रॉड हो सकता है, क्योंकि कंपनी as a separate legal entity, but the person who are working on it or controlling it maybe make fraud. Okay, so where a fraudulent and dishonest use is made of the legal entity, the individual concerned will not be allowed to take shelter behind the corporate personality. The court will break through the corporate shell and apply the principal doctrine of what is called as lifting off or piercing the corporate veil. The court will look behind the corporate entity and take action as though no entity separate from the agency existed, and make the members or the controlling persons liable for debt and obligation of the company. Clear? Then in the following circumstances, different court found it necessary to lift the corporate veil and punish the actual person who did wrong or unlawful act under the name of the company. ये following case में क्या होगा? Different court found it necessary to lift the corporate veil and punish the actual person who did wrong or unlawful activities under the Companies Act. Okay, the first and most important, protection of revenue. In case of protection of revenue, the court may ignore the separate legal entity status of a company where it is used for tax evasion or circumventing tax obligation. Circumventing means find a way around an obstacle. Okay, so next, determination of enemy character of the company means a company being an artificial person cannot be enemy or friend, बिकॉज कंपनी तो एक आर्टिफिशियल पर्सन होता है, इसका तो कोई फीलिंग्स नहीं है, तो हाउ कैन इट बिकम एनिमी और फ्रेंड. बट ड्यूरिंग वार इट मे बिकम नेसेसरी टू लिफ्ट द कॉर्पोरेट भेल एंड सी द पर्सन बिहाइंड इट टू डिटरमाइन whether they are friends or enemy. Okay, this is due to the reason that though a company enjoys a separate legal entity, but its affairs are run by individuals, so fraud and unlawful activity may be happen. So in that case, determination of enemy character of the company is very essential for lifting of the corporate veil. Okay, company being an artificial person cannot be enemy or friend, but during war it may become necessary to lift the corporate veil and see the person behind it to determine whether they are friend or enemy. This is due to the reason that though a company enjoys separate legal entity, but its affairs are run by individuals, as per Daimler Co. Limited versus Continental Tire and Rubber Company Limited. Okay, prevention of fraud. Next, in case of prevention of fraud, where a company is used for committing frauds or improper conduct, the court may lift the corporate veil and look at the reality of the situations, as per Jones versus Lipman cases. Okay, prevention of fraud. In case of prevention of fraud, where a company is used for committing fraud or improper conduct, the court may lift the corporate veil and look at the reality of the situation. George versus Lipman cases. Okay, then protection of public policy. In case of protection of public policy, the court shall lift the corporate veil without any hesitation to protect the public policy and prevent ट्रांजैक्शन which are opposed to public policy. अगर कुछ भी ट्रांजैक्शन अपोज कर रहा है पब्लिक पॉलिसी, इन दैट केस कोर्ट शैल लिफ्ट द कॉर्पोरेट भेल. Okay, then 4, company mere sham or clock, where the company is a mere sham and was really a plow. Sham means what? Sham means a thing that is not what it is actually to be. Okay, so where the company is a mere sham and was really a plow. Plow means a action created to turn a situation to one's own advantage, where the company is a mere sham and was really a plow. Plow means a action created to turn a situation to one's own advantage, used for the committing illegalities and to defraud people. In that case, the court shall lift the corporate veil. So, company mere sham or clock, very important in such cases. Where the company is a mere sham and was really a ploy used for committing illegality and to defraud people. In that case, court क्या करेगा? Shall leave the corporate veil. Okay. Then where a company act as an agent of its shareholder, if there is an arrangement between the shareholders and a company to the effect that the company will act as agent of shareholders for the purpose of carrying on the business. The business is essentially of that of the shareholders and will have unlimited liabilities. Okay. जहाँ कंपनी एक्ट कर रहा है एज ए एजेंट of its shareholder, in that case there is an arrangement between the shareholders and a company to the effect that the company will act as agent of shareholders for the purpose of carrying on the business. Okay, the business is essentially of that of the shareholders and will have unlimited liability. Clear? Then avoidance of welfare legislation. Avoidance of welfare legislation means where a company try to avoid its legal obligations. Where a company try to avoid its legal obligations, the corporate veil shall be lifted to look at the real picture. Okay, means where it is found that company try to avoid its legal obligation, that case the corporate veil shall be lifted to look at the real picture, what was going on behind it. So this is avoidance of welfare legislation as per Workmen of Associated Rubber Industry Limited versus Associated Rubber Industry Limited cases. Then to punish for contempt of court. To punish for contempt of court means company being an artificial person cannot disobey the orders of the court. Therefore, the person at fault should be identified. As per punish for contempt of court, the person at fault should be identified. So these are circumstances in which a court found necessary to lift the corporate veil. Protection of revenue, in case protection of revenue, in case determination of enemy character of the company, in case prevention of fraud, in case protection of public policy, in case company mere sham or clock, in case where a company act as an agent of its shareholders, in case avoidance of welfare legislation, and in case to punish for contempt of court. ये सब केस में कंपनी कोर्ट क्या करेगा? फाउंड नेसेसरी टू लिफ्ट द कॉर्पोरेट भेल एंड पनिश द एक्चुअल पर्सन हु एक्चुअली डिड unlawful activities under the name of the company. Okay, so this is very important for your examination point of view. Remember each and every point. Heading is very important. So now we have to discuss the types of companies. Companies are of various types. Companies are classified under various categories. First, on the basis of liability, the company are classified according to their liabilities into the following: company limited by shares, company limited by guarantees, and unlimited companies. Okay, three types according to the liabilities. Three types: company limited by shares, company limited by guarantees, and unlimited companies. Okay, company limited by shares means as per section 2 subsection 22 defines company limited by shares as a company having the liability of its members limited by the memorandum to the amount, if any, unpaid on the shares respectively held by them. सो आज पर सेक्शन 2 सबसेक्शन 22 ये कह रहा है कि कंपनी जो लिमिटेड बाय शेयर है एज ए कंपनी हैविंग द लायबिलिटी ऑफ इट्स मेंबर्स limited by the memorandum to the amount, if any, unpaid on the shares respectively held by them. Company limited by guarantee as per section 2 subsection 21 defines company limited by guarantee as a company having the liability of its members limited by the memorandum to such amount as the members may respectively undertake to contribute to the assets of the company in the event of its being wind off. So this is company limited by shares as per section 2 subsection 21. As per company limited by shares section 2 subsection 22 and company limited by guarantee section 2 subsection 21. 222 is limited by shares, 221 limited by guarantee. Then unlimited company as per section 2 subsection 92 defines unlimited company as a company not having any limit on the liability of its members. Section 2 subsection 92 defines unlimited company as a company not having any limit on the liability of its members. Okay, on the basis of number of members, the companies are classified on the basis of numbers of members as public company and private companies. The companies are classified on the basis of number of members as public company and private company. Public company means as per section 2 subsection 71 defines public company as a company which is not a private company. Which is not a private company, it's called public company, and a company which is a subsidiary of a company not being a private company shall be deemed to be a public company for the purpose of this act, even where such subsidiary company continue to be a private company in its articles. Okay, so this is the definition of public company. And in case of private company, as per section 2 subsection 68 defines private company as a company having a minimum paid of share capital as may be prescribed, and company which by its articles restrict the right to transfer its share except in case of one person company, limits the number of members to 200, prohibits any invitation to the public to subscribe for any securities of the company. Okay, these are the features of private company, where two or more person hold one or more share in a company jointly. They shall, for the purpose of this clause, maintain, called as a single member. Then the following shall not be included in the number of members: person who are in the employment of the company, member नहीं बन पाएंगे जो कि employment में है of the company, who are in the employment of the company, and person who having been formerly in the employment of the company were members of the company while in that employment and have continued to be members after the employment ceased. Clear? Then on the basis of control, the companies are classified on the basis of control as holding company and subsidiary company. कंट्रोल के हिसाब से कंपनी को दो भाग में डिवाइड किया है, एक होल्डिंग कंपनी एंड सब्सिडियरी कंपनी. होल्डिंग कंपनी मीन्स एज पर सेक्शन 2 सबसेक्शन 46 होल्डिंग कंपनी इन रिलेशन टू वन और मोर अदर कंपनीज मीन्स ए कंपनी of which such company are subsidiary companies. In case of subsidiary company, section 2 subsection 87 defines Section is very important. Section 246 holding company. Section 287 subsidiary company. Define subsidiary company in relation to any other company as a company in which the holding company control the composition of the board of directors or exercise or control more than one half of the total share capital. This is called subsidiary company. On the basis of listing of shares, the public limited companies are eligible for listing its shares on the stock exchange. On this basis, the public limited company are classified as listed company and unlisted company. Okay, so listed company means as per section 2 subsection 52 defines listed company as a company which has any of its securities listed on any recognized stock exchange. Section 2 as per section 2 subsection 52 defines listed company as a company which has any of its securities listed on any recognized stock exchange. Okay, so non-listed company, a public company which is not listed its share on any stock exchange is called a non-listed company. जो कंपनी का शेयर listed नहीं है on any stock exchange is called non-listed company. On the basis of government control, the companies are classified on the basis of the control of the government over the company as government company and non-government company. Government company means section 245 define government company as any company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government or by any state government or partly by the central government and partly by one or more state government and includes a company which is a subsidiary company of such a government company. Okay, so this is the definition of government company. Now non-government company, a company in which either of the government has no paid up share capital is called the non-government company. जो कंपनी का कोई भी पेड अप कैपिटल नहीं है, दिस इज कॉल्ड नॉन गवर्नमेंट कंपनी. Then other types of companies, the other types of companies are associate company, banking company, foreign company, one person company, small company, section 8 company, dormant company, inactive company, producer company, investment company and statutory company. So let's discuss about all such other companies, other types of companies. First, associate company. Section 2 subsection 6 of the act define the term associate company in relation to another company, a company in which that other company has a significant influence but which is not a subsidiary company of the company having such influence. It includes a joint venture company. The explanation to this section define the term significant influence as control of at least 20% of total share capital or of business decision under an agreement is called associate company. What do you mean by banking company? Section 2 subsection 9 define the term banking company as a banking company defined in section 5 subsection C of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. What do you mean by foreign company? As per section 2 subsection 42 defines foreign company as any company or body corporate incorporated outside India which has a place of business in India whether by itself or through an agent physically or through electronic mode and conduct any business activity in India in any other manner. Okay, foreign company जो कि प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस है इंडिया में whether by itself or through an agent physically or through electronic mode and conduct any business activity in India in any other manner. Okay, this is called foreign company. Then one person company as per section 2 subsection 62 define one person company as a company which has only one person as a member. It also considered as a private company. इसको भी private company कहा जाएगा. Small company as per section 2 subsection 85 defines small company as a company other than a public company paid up share capital of which does not exceed 50 lakh rupees or such higher amount as may be prescribed which shall not be more than rupees 5 crore and the turnover of which is as per its last profit and loss account does not exceed 2 crore or such higher amount as may be prescribed which shall not be more than 20 crore. Okay, this is the definition of small company. This definition shall not apply to a holding company or a subsidiary company, a company registered under section 8, a company or body corporate governed by any special act. So what do you mean by section 8 company? Such type of company is to be registered with the registrar of companies, that is registrar company means ROC, and also to obtain license from the central government if a person or association of person proposed to be registered under the Companies Act 2013 as a limited company has its object the promotion of commerce, art, science, sports, education, research, social welfare, religion, charity, protection of environment और any such other object. ये जब अगर ये सब उसका object है, in that case he can be apply for section 8 company. Intend to apply its profit if any or other income in promoting its object. इसका ऑब्जेक्ट को प्रमोट करने के लिए उसका प्रॉफिट को इंटेंट को अप्लाई करता है. इंटेंट टू प्रोहिबिट द पेमेंट ऑफ एनी डिविडेंड टू इट्स मेंबर. इंटेंट टू प्रोहिबिट द पेमेंट ऑफ एनी डिविडेंड टू इट्स मेंबर. इसका इंटेंशन ये है कि इसका डिविडेंड को नहीं देगा उसको मेंबर्स को. The central government may allow that person or association of person to be registered as a limited company without the addition to its name the word limited or other words private limited as the case may be. So what do you mean by dormant company? As per section 455 of the act provide that where a company is formed and registered under the act for a future project or to hold an asset or intellectual property and has no significant accounting transaction, such a company or an inactive company may make an application to the register for obtaining the status of a dormant company. What do you mean by inactive company? As per explanation I to section 455 define inactive company as a company which has not been carrying on any business or operation or has not made any significant accounting transaction during the last 2 financial years or has not filed financial statement and annual return during the last 2 financial years. Okay, so what do you mean by producer company? According to the provision as specified under section 581 A subsection I of the Act 1956, a producer company is a body corporate having object of activity specified in section 581B and which is registered as such under the provision of the Act. The membership of producer companies is open to such people who themselves are the primary producers, which is an activity by which some agricultural produce is produced by such primary producers. Then what do you mean by investment company? As per explanation A to section 186 define the term investment company as a company whose principal business is the acquisition of shares, debenture or other securities. Very important. इसका whose main principal business is to acquisition of shares, debenture or other security. What do you mean by statutory company? As per statutory company, companies set up by special act of parliament or state legislatures are called statutory companies. Example of statutory companies are Reserve Bank of India is set up under the Reserve Bank of India. Likewise, LIC, UTI, etc. are the example of statutory company. Okay, so I have discussed all such important about companies. So in the next video we will discuss about one person company and its benefits. Okay, so for now, thank you so much for your support and thank you so much for your time.